Now we're going to move over to statistics, okay? And we're really just going to focus on one thing, and that's our box and whisker plot. To find the box and whisker plot, or to create one, you've got to find what we call the five number summary. And those 5 values that you have to find is your minimum value, first quartile, median, third quartile, and max. So your minimum is the smallest value. Okay, the smallest number in your data set. Okay, the first quartile we usually label Q1. Okay, we'll do that one in just a second because we're going to do the median first. The median is the middle number. All right, then the first quartile is the median of the bottom half. All right, the third quartile, Q3, is the median of the top. And then your maximum is the largest value, the biggest. Okay, and so it's kind of like you have Q1, Q3, or missing Q2. Your median's actually like your Q2. Okay, and all that sounds kind of weird, so hopefully it'll make sense in just a second. So if I gave you a data set of, we'll do 1 through 10, just something easy. Okay, so if I have the numbers 1 through 10 in my data set, okay, we're going to review finding the median and stuff, but the easy ones are the min and the max. So I know right off the bat, 1 is my minimum, 10 is my max. Okay, to find the median, which is what we have to find next, we have to find the very middle. So I know normally if you weren't sure, like if it was a bunch of crazy numbers, you could cross out, you know, like cross out 1 from each side and keep crossing out until you get down to the middle, right? And then if it's a middle number, that is your median. If it's 2 numbers in the middle, to find your median, you have to find the average or find the middle of those 2 numbers. And this one's a little easier to do. I know that my median's going to be halfway between those 2. So that's going to be 5.5. We can do that one in our head. All right, now to find your Q1 and your Q3, once you find where that middle is, all right, we cut it in half at that middle value, and you're looking on the left side and the right side of the middle, and we're going to cross out until we find the median of both halves. So I can cross out the number in the middle. That's my Q1. And I can cross out the number in the middle. There's Q3. So here's my 5 number summary. I've got my min, Q1, median, Q3, and my max. So you got to be able to find those 5 things to create our box and whisker plot. Now the box and whisker plot itself looks kind of weird, but it's got a name for a reason because we're going to have a box and we're going to have some whiskers. Now your box and whisker plot comes over a number line. We always draw it over a number line, so you just got to make sure you can get all your numbers in there. So I should easily be able to fit 10 in here, so we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 1, there's 10. All right, and you can space it however you need to, whatever. Okay, so then I'm going to start putting my values up there, and instead of putting dots, I'm actually going to put a little line. So I'm going to put a line at my minimum, a line at my maximum. All right, I'm going to put a line at my Q1, so there's 2, 3, a line at my Q3, and a line at my median. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 5.5 is right in the middle. All right, then you got 6, 7, and 8. All right, then I'm going to draw a box, or finish a box connecting Q1 and Q3. Then I'm going to draw whiskers connecting our min and our max. All right, now this one's nice and pretty and symmetrical because it's, you know, a very evenly spaced data set. All right, but the reason we draw it like this is because our quartiles, right, think of quarters, they're a fourth, right? Every quartile shows where 25% of our data is. So that means that there's 25% in each of these sections. So 25% of our numbers fall in each of those sections, which means that the median is right in the middle, so 50% of your data is below, 50% of your data is above. Okay, so we got two examples, and the second one will be a little bit easier because I'll show you how to do it on the calculator. Oop, wrong part. All right, so the first one, before we can find anything, you got to put it in numerical order. Every single time, it's always got to go in numerical order. So the way that I put it in numerical order so I don't skip anything is I cross them out as I go. So I'm going to look for my smallest value, and it looks like that's a 3. So I'm going to put a 3 down here. And I line it up. That way I know that I'm not skipping numbers because I got to end with the same amount that I started with. And it looks like we got another 3. All right, let me put my commas. All right, then we got a 4. Okay, then a 5. And a 6, and another 6, and a 7, and a 12, and a 16, and my last one a 21. All right, so I automatically know this is going to be my minimum. This is going to be my maximum. Okay, then I got to find my median. Okay, now I'm not going to actually cross out just yet because I got to be able to see the numbers still to do my Q1 and Q3. So I'm just going to put little lines on the bottom so I keep track. So I'm just going to take one from both sides. Keep going until I get down to my middle. Now, in this case, I've got my middle 2, right? And they happen to be the same. So then that means that my median is 6, right? Because halfway between 6 and 6 is still 6. All right. Then I'm going to cross out to find my Q1 and Q3. So I got that one and that one, that one and that one. So here's my Q1. And then this one, this one, this one, this one. Here's my Q3. So there's my 5-number summary. So the next thing we do is we put it on a number line. All right, so I'm going to draw my number line. Let's just draw a big one. Okay, now I don't want to have to count from 3 to 21, my min to my max, because that's like a lot of points on there. So I'm just going to go by 2s. All right, so I'm going to say, we'll start at 0. Doesn't matter, but we'll say this is 0. And we'll go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And then we got to go to 22 because I got to at least cover 21. So I made my number line a little long. All right. My minimum is at 3. So here's 2, 4. So 3 is going to be halfway. My Q1 is at 4. All right. My median is at 6. My Q3 is at 12, so there's 10, 12. And then my max is at 21, which is going to be in the middle. Take your middle 3 lines, draw your box, and then draw your whiskers connecting the ends. All right, so this one looks a little funky, right? Because we're kind of jumbled right here in the beginning, right? Everything's only like 1 apart. So like below 6, we have a lot, like 50% of our data right there, that's bottom half, is between 3 and 6, right? That's half of the data points that we have. Then it gets spaced out, so then I have less numbers between 7 or 6 and 12, and then 12 and 21, right? So it spaces out based on how far spread out your data is. Okay. Then for number 2, I'm going to show you a shortcut if you have a calculator with you. If you don't, I don't know of an app for iPhones yet, I'm sorry, but Android users, you can download an app called Wabbit, Rabbit with a W. It's free, and you get to see an actual calculator on your screen. It looks just like mine. Well, it might not be pink, but it'll be a TI-84 calculator on your screen. If not, you can still do these by hand. Not a big deal. That didn't take us all that long. Okay, but on the calculator, first I'm going to show you how to get your 5-number summary from the calculator. So what we do is you press the Stat button underneath Delete, and we're going to go to Edit. So press Enter. All right, now I have something in my L1. To clear it out, I'm going to go up to L1, press clear, enter, and it'll clear it out for me. And then I'm going to type in my data. All right, so we've got 2, enter, 1, enter, 4, 2, 6, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, then I'm going to go back to stat, and then I'm going to scroll over to calc, and it's got one variable stats at the top. So I'm going to press enter, and then make sure it says L1. I've been doing stuff with mine, so I need to change that to L1. So all I did was press second, number 1, and then I'm going to go down to calculate and press enter. It's going to give me a whole bunch of stuff that you'll use in other math classes, but for what we're going to do right now, I'm just going to scroll to the bottom. And those last 5 numbers, those are my 5-number summary, or that is my 5-number summary. I got my minimum value, my first quarter, my median, and my third quarter, and my max. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. Oops. All right, and it looks like I'm going from 1 to 6. So I'm going to space these out really good. So I'm going to say this one's 0, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and I'll label them. All right, my minimum is at 1, but so is my first quartile. So I don't have any other lines to write there. My median is at 2, all right, and then my third quartile is at 4, and my max is 6. All right, now because this was both first quartile and minimum, I still draw my box, and I'm only going to have one whisker. Okay, and what that's going to tell me is that 25% of my data is 1. Right, which makes sense because we got, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 data points here. If I can count right. And I got 3 of those 11 is 1. Right, so 25% of my data. Okay, then you know that 25% of your data is less than 2. So that means you have a lot of 1s and 2s in there. Okay, now I can even show you how to graph on the calculator. So when you want to graph this, I'm going to go to second y equals, and I'm going to press enter and change that plot to on. And I'm going to go down to the type and look in here, and we got these 2 box and whiskers. For what we're doing, all we need is a second one there. Looks just kind of like the one I just did. I'm going to highlight that so that it's on. And then I'm going to press zoom and go down to zoom stat, and that's going to, fit it in my screen nice and pretty. And bam! Look at that. Twinsies looks the same. All right, so that's just how you can do it on a calculator. And then if you wanted to, if you press the trace button, you can go back and forth to see what your values are at each spot. All right, so that's your box and whisker plots.